Good afternoon, South Bend Schools, and welcome to this afternoon's PD Live. We would like to welcome you to our Survivor E-Learning Island HyperDocs Challenge. Our motto here is out to plan, out teach, and outlast. And today, if I'm not having fun, you're not having fun, so I'm going to try to have all the fun that I can. Here are your hosts today. My name is Holly Swartz. I am the DIS at Kennedy Academy.
And I'm Mary Swope, the DIS at Monroe Elementary.
Your hosts have worked hard to be in shape for this challenge, as you can plainly see by our pictures. So just wanted to put that out there. We're looking good. This is one of my friends, Nadine Gilkinson from EdTech in the Bend.
Learn how to use.
And she is going to explain to us exactly what is a HyperDoc and how did it come about.
That technology, that device, to help them as they were designing lessons. So what they felt like was the most important was you have to be able to layer content, technology, and what we know are good pedagogical practices in the classroom. So they felt like that a good digital design is going to have all three of these components together. So as they started to work on that, they said, okay, to me, that would be the total package if you could have all of those things together. So they started to think, okay, what would those components be? So what they started out with was, okay, you need to have a component for Explore because either if you're introducing a topic, you have already started the topic in your classroom and you're using this to reinforce what you're doing in the classroom. Students have to have resources to explore, videos, infographics, excerpts from text, and so on. The next main component is going to be to explain. In some way, the student has to be able to explain the lesson objective, and that can be student choice. They started to layer in, ooh, well, this is really great, but I've got to build in student choice. Maybe one student wants to type what they can explain about the objective. Another kid may want to record what they know about the topic. And then they got to the section for apply. So this is where it's layering in, again, student choice, but the student is now creating something that's going to allow them to show what they know. Instead of thinking of like a traditional assessment, this is where the students are getting more opportunities and more choices. So I start reading this through their book and my mind starts exploding like, oh my gosh, this is the package. This is what my teachers need to see. And what I noticed when I read the book, they had really written the book for like either upper elementary, middle school, and high school because that's what they were working with. And I knew that this could also be applied all the way down to kindergarten. So in my district, at the same time, I actually was able to meet with technology reps once a quarter. I started to talk to them about the concept of a HyperDoc. And a HyperDoc they originally had the design be in a Google Doc, that's how it was packaged. But you really can package it in multiple platforms. It could be in Google Slides. It could be in Google Docs. It could be in Maps. It could be in Microsoft products. I don't want you to think that this is Google only. But the teacher needed to see how would this look before and after? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So for instance, if a student was in the classroom, they might be doing, something to learn about Bossy R, and it might have been like a digital worksheet. It could have been a worksheet. But how do we turn something like that into digital and then ramp up the engagement? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up. This was actually the very first HyperDoc that I made several years ago. And I had to wrap my head around what that would look like. And of course, it's taking a moment to load here. And as I was doing that, we were discussing, is there a certain format that you need to have? So I thought, if we're going to use this with little kids, we need to have some consistency. I didn't want to force my teachers to use the same template, but a lot of the teachers sitting in the meeting said, if we use a standard template that all teachers can go with, then now the kid is seeing the consistency. So we decided on those core items: explore, explain, and apply. And we used some visuals with emojis. And before, remember, they just would have been doing a worksheet. So now what this looks like as a HyperDoc is, here's the explore. So we have not one, but 2 videos that the kids can actually take a look to review the concept of Bossier. Then we also have on the explain, where the kid gets choices. I know this looks like a lot. I don't know what my teachers are using, so that's why we gave them several choices. Then when it came to the apply with Bossier, I didn't want it to be, that cut and paste. How could we transfer that digitally? So in other words, I came up with, well, what if they have the pictures? They have to type the word, and then they have to actually fill in the bubble to spell the word. And this brought up a good conversation. You know, some teachers thought, oh, well, the kids aren't going to know how to do that. We need a technology class for that. And I said, I'm more about, let's weave in those little skills as you're rolling out these items with the HyperDoc. So on the apply, this is the equivalent of a digital worksheet, okay? But what I want you to realize is that a HyperDoc is not just this in isolation. The beauty of a HyperDoc is that it's got the videos to reinforce what the kid needs to know. They've got the outlet to explain. Now they've got that layer or that component of a digital worksheet. As a teacher, I could go ahead and layer in here a link to Quizzes or Kahoot, because those are applications as well. But the ultimate is the creation. And again, if I was just having the kid do the worksheet, then that's not as good as something like a HyperDoc because of the way that I've packaged my digital lesson. So now the student has to show me what they know, and they could use Storyboard, they could create their own, they could do a book snap. It could be something digital, but it doesn't have to be something digital. And differentiation is built in. My highest learners are going to be through the HyperDoc quickly, and they can be spending more time on the creation component. And my learners that need those additional supports can go back to those other slides. So with that, this is the easiest way for me to show my teachers, this is what you did before.
All right. So I like to call Nadine the queen of Indiana HyperDocs. If you ever have a chance, go to her Twitter page. We're going to share out resources at the end. She shares everything, and she knows a lot about what she's talking about. So I love to have her as a friend, and I appreciate that she came to EdTech in the Bend this year. So we're going to build our own HyperDoc today. And today we're going to build a HyperDoc. The first slide in your HyperDoc should be the essential question, what you're trying to teach the students. So today our HyperDoc is all about how can HyperDocs transform your teaching so you can outplan, outteach, and outlast with engaging lessons. So that's what we're going to work through today. So first, as Nadine said, we have the Explore page. And the Explore page is used basically so that the kids can learn the topic that you're wanting to teach them. Now, this could be anything from a video you found on YouTube, and with, disclaimer with that, make sure you watch it all the way to the end so there's no surprises before you put it up there. It could be a video of you teaching the lesson that you add onto here. I would normally have 2 choices. On this one, we chose both a video and an article for you to read. So I wanted to show you how we added those into what we did. So if I was going to add a video onto here, I would take and go to this insert button, and I would go down to the video. There's all different ways. If you know the URL or the address, you can put it in here. If you've taped yourself and it's in Google Drive, you could find it here. But we're going to search YouTube, and I'm going to look for elementary HyperDocs. Now, the one I chose is right here. So I would click it, and I would click select, and it's going to put it into my HyperDoc. Now, it's too big, so I may want to make it smaller and move it down on the page.
Not necessarily a app or a website that I have used in my classrooms before. It's something that is new to me, but it's something I think that a lot of up and coming schools are using, especially if you're using Google Docs or in my Google Slides, Google Classroom. It's something that all is new to me, but kind of go together as one. Google Classroom is something that I'm going to be looking into.
And of course, it's going to start doing this today, and it's not going to stop.
Our district is using Chromebooks, and soon in the future might be one-to-one.
Great.
So a HyperDoc is basically an online document that children can use without teacher assistance. So they can be able to log in, find their HyperDoc.
Go to the Facebook and, or not the Facebook, the YouTube and delete it. You got it.
So after they have
it's still going though.
They might be working on in school in your lesson for that day.
All right.
If they finish
so we're
early,
just going to do this. I'm going to make it easy. So everybody, you know, this happens to all. Great way to show it. I'm going to go back into my slides. And yes, I'm a Star Wars fan. I have many slides in here. I'm just going to start the slideshow over. So when you're doing that, make sure that you do it before you put it out to the kids and that. Because I'd hate for that to happen. So as you can see, you can enter and put your HyperDoc or put your movie in your HyperDoc like that. If you're going to go ahead and insert a text, we took for ours a screenshot of the page that had the article on HyperDocs. Pull myself together. Article on HyperDocs, and then we just linked it. And easy ways to link it. There's a button right here that when you click it, it will insert the link onto your picture. All right, the next page, moving on, is the explain. So once you've watched those, you've watched the video on HyperDocs or you've read the Cult of Pedagogy, then we're gonna have you choose and explain what you've read. So tell us what you've learned from it. We've given you two options on this slide on how to do it. So we have a Flipgrid that people can go to and answer just like you did on the first PD of the day. Or some kids don't like to see themselves on video. They don't want to do things like that. So we've also given the choice of typing your answer. Now, when you're doing this in class, when you assign them a HyperDoc, make sure you do it through your Google Drive and make it a copy for each student. That way they can type on this and you can always go back and read their answers. I'm going to skip that one. We're a little off after. This one I'm going to show you. So on the apply on this one, Nadine did one where she had a picture and you would type the word in for the Bossy R. Then not only did they type the R in, they had to fill in the bubbles. Well, we're showing you a different choice here. So we've done a matching game. So match the HyperDoc term with its definition. When the students do this, all they would have to do is click this line and just put it to where they want it to go. So I'm just going to do it down here, and it would leave a line and they could do the next one. The way that we did that is we went and inserted a table. So I wanted 4 questions, 4 topics over here. So I would insert the table. I made it smaller so that I had my words on one side. You can see it doesn't look right yet. So I pulled it down. And the lines are, if I click off of it, they're really light. And I just like visual things that need to be dark and I need to be able to see things. So if you go up to here, first I look at border color. Well, it's gray, and that's kind of light anyways. So I'm going to change the border color. And let's click here so it does all of it. Can't have your cursor on when you change it. So I'm going to do right here. And then I'm going to make the lines just a little bit bigger so you can see it. Then I would put my terms here. I want to add another table so that I can put my definitions on the other side. Once again, I'm going to want to resize it. I grab those 3 dots and I pull them and I line this up line this up down here, and you'll notice these lines come up to kind of tell me I've got it, and change the color once again. Border color and the weight. Now all you'd have to do is go in here, double tap, and put your word on this side, definition on this side. So that's one easy way. Many ways that you can make to apply it. Same concepts that are on a worksheet, but just digitally. The final part of a HyperDoc, and the most important, I think, to me, is the create. So on our HyperDoc, we decided that, you know what, you've learned about HyperDocs, you've explained about HyperDocs, you've applied, you know the terms. I think our create would be making your own HyperDoc. So we've taken and given you three different templates that you can use right here to make your own HyperDoc. So all you would have to do is click it and go to here, and it's going to force a copy so that everybody gets their own copy. We have 3 different elementary. This is a little above, like it'd be the upper elementary grades. But once again, here's another template that you can use. Our resources page. We have put a lot of resources. I'm very much a follower of HyperDocs and Nadine Gilkinson, and Matt Miller, and so we have added some very useful tools here that are going to help you with your HyperDoc creation. We've added the HyperDocs Toolbox, 14 example activities from Matt Miller. This right here is Nadine's website for her school, and if we click on it, we can see if it takes us there. We're not private. She will share anything that she has. I guess it won't let me go there today. She'll share anything that she has with you. Her teachers make a ton of HyperDocs going with the Indiana State Standards. You can find most anything you need there. The 3 ladies who created HyperDocs have a website, hyperdocs.co. Once again, you can find many HyperDocs there to use. HyperDocs, the idea is that when you make it, you're making it to share. And so we have Teachers Give Teachers, which is basically a HyperDocs group that will give, you can go on there and they will let you use any of their HyperDocs. We attach Flipgrid because that's a great way to have students explain things to you. We've also hooked ThinkLink here. Here's a little EdTech in the Bed pitch. There's a video of Nicole Blake from Swanson Elementary. And she is doing on EdTech in the Bend a whole demonstration of ThinkLink, something you should check out. Videos are still available until Labor Day. There is a Facebook group for HyperDocs, and if you have to be invited or you have to be welcomed into the group, and I would, get off of this, do it right now. Nadine talks about how if her teachers needed a HyperDoc on the Bill of Rights, she would put on there, hey, anybody have a 5th grade Bill of Rights HyperDoc? When she would come back, there'd be 13 HyperDocs that people shared. So great place to share. Nadine has also, I've asked her and she's let us use, here's a guide to how to use her templates. The middle here is with her school corp, they took things like Daily 5 and showed you how that would work with HyperDocs. So it kind of brings everything together, guided reading group. She has a guided reading group HyperDoc. She has a HyperDoc for math, HyperDoc for science. They're the templates that you can fill in however you'd like. And then she has this whole teaching digitally, a book, a how-to book. So that is another place chopped full of different resources that I just can't say enough about. So we've given you all this, and I know it's the first week of school, and who wants to sit here and listen to me talk all day? I know I wouldn't want to, and so we've decided in our meeting today that we would like to have you now have your turn. So what we're proposing to you and what we'd like you to do for the rest of your time with us is we want you to go through our HyperDoc actually as a student, and then at the end, take some time to create a HyperDoc. Find something maybe with your team, maybe by yourself, put together something that you can use with the kids. And then we're asking back in the Canvas page at the bottom, it says wrap up activity. We would love for you to share your HyperDocs with us. Our goal is to start a HyperDoc library for the South Bend schools, and just like Nadine did, and then whatever is put in there, anybody can use. Imagine if every 1st grade teacher did a hyperdoc on one of the vowel pairs. And so then everybody could use it and you wouldn't have to make them over and over again. You would have that automatically there for you. So we are imploring upon you that you take this time to build that and then share it back. And my final thoughts, and we'll be here, we'll be around to answer questions, either through the StreamYard answers, or you can email us at our school email. My final thoughts are, have fun and enjoy this time to create. We will be back tomorrow with a new challenge on eLearning Island. This one will elevate a single slide. So don't get voted off tonight. And remember to outplan, outteach, and outlast. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Holly and Mary. That was excellent. So for the rest of you guys, remember that we will stay on here and we will be watching the chat as you stay on YouTube. But feel free to go and explore. And like Holly said, reach out to any of us if you have any questions. We'll go ahead and put our email addresses in that chat. Just give me a minute to put them in there. But again, just feel free to kind of, you know, throw some things in the chat. I see that some people are a little bit confused, so we'll attend to those questions in just a moment.
Okay.
But no, this is an opportunity as you create it. If you want some one-on-one help, you could reach out to either Holly or Mary or myself. We'll give you that one-on-one help later. You know, all those options exist. So Holly, do you want me to run through some of these questions?
Yeah, if you could.
Sure. Okay, so Karen would like to know, where do we find the hyperdoc to write on?
It should be in the bit.ly. So it's the last slide on your hyperdoc bit.ly that you got.
And I'm going to run that on the ticker below. So you just need to go to your web browser and type in that bit.ly address, and it will take you automatically to the wonderful hyperdoc survivor guide that Holly and Mary made for you all. So I'll let that run. And then we had another question. Someone had said that they were a little bit confused. That's all made in Google Slides, but they wanted to know how you can make a copy for the student that's an interactive copy for each student.
If you go through your drive when you assign it, so if you make it interactive on your slide deck and you have it in your Google Drive, which once you make it, it should be in there. When you go into your classroom and you're assigning it and you add it, on the far right-hand side, it'll say, it has a downward arrow. You need to click on it and go down to make a copy for each student, and then each student will get one, and it will be interactive, and all the kids won't be on the same doc. Your disc can help you if you reach out to them.
Most definitely. And then someone had asked about some of maybe your tips and tricks, like do you copy and paste similar things over? Are you using kind of similar templates? What are some of those strategies?
Yes. So I do copy and paste things over and over, and let me go back into, I'll go to this one. So, oh, I'm not sharing. Rookie. There we go. All right. So if we go into this, I do copy and paste things a lot, but you can see that you can't move things here. This is a big trick. So I go into Slide, Edit Master, and I build whatever slide I want in here, because then this is the master slide. The students can't go back in and mess with it. I mean, and most are tech savvy, but then you could really get them on it. I put it in here. Then if I was to, let's go back to here. I wanted to add a slide to my deck. I would go up here where it says plus new slide, but I don't want a new slide like that. I want to choose which slide from the deck I want. So let's say I want to add one of these again. So I would pick that and it would add it at the bottom of my slide. Once again, all of these, the kids can't pull these around. I'm hoping I'm answering the question. I think that's kind of what they were saying.
Exactly. Another thing, if you don't want to work on the master slide, you also can create pictures. So if you can download slides as pictures, and then you can set those as the background of your slides as well. So, you know, Google always gives us like at least 3 ways to do something. Yeah. And someone had said something. Yes, I'm so sorry. The Bitly is case sensitive. So you have to type a capital S and you have to type a capital H. But when you go into your web browser, where you have the URLs or the search bar, you just type in bit.ly/S, right, survivor, and then capital H for HyperDocs. Okay. So
I did not put this on, Nubia. I'm not sure what's not on Canvas. I did not put the original slide deck on Canvas, and actually the Bitly you're going to isn't on Canvas because I kind of wanted to go through the presentation before I let you loose on it. So right now the only way to get it is through that Bitly. There should be in the wrap up an assignment for you to add your HyperDocs to. And yes, Nicole, you can send me all the ones you want. Where do we assign textbooks at? I'm not sure. Through HyperDocs, I wouldn't assign textbooks. Maybe in the upper grades. I guess I've always been an element like K2 teacher, K3. I'm sure there's a way that you could do some sort of thing with textbooks.
The Bitly is running down below on the ticker if you guys get it. And I'll go ahead and put this in the chat right now. And what's going to happen is you're going to get taken to a page that will say make a copy. When you click make a copy, that's your own individual copy that you'll be able to work off of and manipulate. And so once you do that, it will automatically be saved into your Google Drive.
Chloe, yes, I made mine all in slides because she asked, I think I'm confused about HyperDoc itself. This is all made in Google Slides, but do you need to download something called HyperDocs? There's nothing that you download that's called HyperDocs. It's a HyperDoc because all the teaching is in there. So it's not just a slide deck. We have, you know, the different parts of a lesson that you would normally have are contained within that HyperDoc. So it's whatever, if you're more comfortable with docs, do it on a doc. Do it on a slide. It's just the reason it's called a HyperDoc is because you've linked different parts of what your lesson would be in there and have the kids interacting with it.
And I'm also just going to throw something out there. I see that Miss Blake is on here, and she is also an amazing creator of HyperDocs. So I know that there's probably teachers within all of these schools that are using HyperDocs, and so you are willing to kind of create, and maybe you guys can set up your own co-teaching team and work to create these for your school, and then, you know, share them out with the district.
I think they were asking textbooks. I think they asked text box. How do you add a text box? So I did not answer your question right at all. Here we go. So a text box. If I'm going to add a text box and put words in it, I go to this box here with the T and I click it and I drag it across, and then my text shows up like in a document. On slides, it's just like a document. You can change your fonts over here. You can make it bigger or smaller here. Here's our bold. So it's just like working in a Google Doc, but that's how you add a text box.
And what's great about that is when your students get a copy, you know, you're not going to get crazy fonts that maybe you can't read. You can kind of set what you want that font size and color to be. You know, you can outline it for your students so that they can see where to write. It's very clear for them. But yeah,
see trying to see if there's any other questions here.
Chloe said that yep, she said you did answer it, that a HyperDoc is a type of methodology, right? It's not a platform or software. You create it. It's a way of presenting material. I mean, it's super transformative, but it becomes a part of your curriculum and part of your pedagogy.
Right. Oh, Chloe, how each kid would have their own text box would be you're assigning the whole slide deck to them. So they're not all working on the same HyperDoc. They each get their own HyperDoc to work through.
And I'm just going to throw this out there. I know that Holly said this, but, you know, when you start making these, the best thing to do is go grab one of those templates, because on that, the HyperDoc website, there are, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of really awesome, you know, tried and true HyperDocs that someone's already kind of worked the kinks out of. And so you could grab one of those and then, you know, even take it, like work through it yourself so that you know what your students are going to expect. And that's also really going to help you start to kind of understand how you want to lay yours out as well.
Right. And I made the one for the Survivor Island, and you're free to use that one too. Katie Nijkamp, I don't know. I think with all the problems we've had with the internet today, I'm thinking that's what's wrong with my computer. I don't think, as of last night, she hadn't shut down her website. Nadine.
Actually, Holly, I just tried to jump on, and I just tried to jump on her website, and it did go up to your browser is not private, and so it wouldn't let me on.
And I think that has to do with our internet, like because I've had that come up on other things today, and I think it has more to do with when the internet went down today.
Yeah.
Yes, and just so everyone knows, I'm just going to throw that out there. We had a major area, like not just the district, not just South Bend schools, but the entire Michiana area had a major network issue this morning. So it was not you, it was everyone.
Yeah, so I think that kind of threw everything off.
We got another question that said, how can they apply this to kindergarten?
Oh, kindergarten. I would make things simpler. I mean, you have Go Noodle videos, you have, you know, Jack Hartman, you have all of them. I would add those in, and then I would make simple things for them to do. Either the typing of the like a word, you work on sight words, work on things like that. They could take a picture. So maybe their apply is that you've worked on the letter M, they've looked at M letters, and then they need to take a picture and put in the slide the picture of an M thing in their house. And then maybe they have to, you know, create something that starts with M, like draw a picture and show you, or do a Flipgrid. I mean, there's so many ways that you could meld that together.
Yeah, I think Flipgrid's really good for that age because it's a big red button and they press it and everything works. And it's simple enough that, you know, they can most likely manage it on their own. They may need help a few times. Some of the other suggestions, you know, are like to make things, use those repeated symbols like you always have. You know, if there's an audio activity and they know they're going to listen, you put a big ear. You know, just take all those strategies that you have in your normal curriculum and just apply them now in a digital format. Some people had said that there is some access.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We'll deal with you. We'll allow that access. I'm so sorry. Right now, as soon as we're done with this, we'll attend to those access issues if there are any. For those of you who are wondering if there is a proof of attending, your proof of attending, there will not be a survey that you have to fill out right after this session. That survey will come, we'll deal with all of that at a different time, but there's not individual surveys for each session. Right. Your proof of enrollment is through that Canvas course. If you were not able to enroll for some reason, just go ahead and send me an email. That's not a problem. And we will get all of that documented for you. You have nothing to worry about except engaging with a HyperDoc and exploring and having so much fun.
Right. I did bring up, like, if you do make HyperDocs or you have HyperDocs, we'd love to start a library. Like I said, you know, if we would, you know, coordinate it together with the people downtown, you know, make a library with Tara and Allison and Chase. And that way everybody in the district could use these. And so we're not reinventing the wheel over and over. You know, like Michelle Eaton said earlier, work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
So you know, if we come together, we're always better together, and make these and then share them out, that would be great.
Yeah, especially now more than ever. I mean, as we embark, as you guys all know, this is day 2, but, you know, it's a very different environment. So if we can build things together and kind of ease some of that burden and that screen time that we even have on ourselves, you know, it's just being part of that larger community.
Tammy Payne said, is a HyperDoc approved? And I just wanted to, one of the great things about HyperDocs, it automatically differentiates. Nadine goes into it if you did the EdTech in the Bend.
Video is available until Labor Day.
Yeah, which is available until Labor Day. But she's talked about how it automatic differentiates for your children. So some kids might only get to explore and explain, while the other kids that are higher level and can work through and get to that create. So just like we have different tech levels and differentiating, some of you might just get to the explore and the explain part, while the other ones are like Nicole Blake. She's going to be able to get to the create part. So It's a great way to show kids and a great way to differentiate in your classroom.
The other thing is that, you know, as we know, feedback is super crucial right now. I mean, because we can't just grab a kid and say, hey, can we talk, or show me this? So we're going to have to build in all of those feedback steps along the way. And what I really love about HyperDocs is that as kids are doing these activities and they all come back to the central document, you just jump on that central document and you can check in with them all along the way. And so they're not getting all the way to create and all of a sudden have some misconception. And it's super great for the feedback cycle.
I agree. Any other questions? Like I'm kind of trying to watch the side. Like I said, we will get on as soon as I get off of this. I will go on and make sure everybody has access to them. Glitches, even tech people glitches.
Yeah, if you use that bit.ly that I have at the bottom, you should have a copy that you have to create. You just click make a copy, and then you'll have your own to work on.
Actually, I did force copies. Sir Links a Lot. That is an awesome extension, Sir Links a Lot. If you guys don't have it, it is one that if you are on Google and you click Sir Links a Lot, it says force a copy, and it automatically changes your URL, so it forces a copy out. You can force a template. And so then you just put that up there and go.
That's a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to put that in the, should I put that in the chat? Mary, do you know what that one is?
Yeah. Well, it's actually a Chrome extension, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Chrome extension that they were going to add.
It's SIR links -a -lot. So
SIR.
Yep. Links LINKS -a -LOT. Sir Links a Lot. I love it.
A little eyeball, like a little link guy with a little top hat on.
All right, well, that's a Chrome extension, so you can search that. I just put that in the chat for you all. So I don't think there's any more questions.
If there's not, like I said, you are free to always email us. We're always here to help. People that know me will tell you I love to talk and I love to help, so feel free. All right. So remember, tomorrow, don't get voted off tonight, because tomorrow we will be back with slides.
Ooh, yes. That will be an excellent presentation. Thank you guys again. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Bye.